some of the pain points that they have and some things that they thought could make their processes more efficient. Looking at the processes, again, looked at the current financial policies and procedures, actually observed the staff performing their tasks within the Munis financial system. I've observed board meetings and other staff meetings, and also reviewed prior external audit reports. With the product, I looked at the financial statements, the budget documents, and the board financial packages. And so all of that was it was wrapped up into a larger report that Ms. Malden referred to, but I wanted to take the time today to really hit the key observations and recommendations, those that I thought were the most important. And these were broken up again into people, process, and product. So with people, the lack of transfer of knowledge from the CFO to other finance department staff means that there was just, the information wasn't shared widely among the department. So upon her departure, it kind of left a hole there that they had to fill as quickly as possible. So to prevent that from happening in the future, you want to create work instructions, a succession plan, and implement cross-training. Also, you want to ensure that you hire a good, strong CFO immediately. Also, to add to that, having a CFO or any executive that is doing the majority of the work themselves without sharing with other team members, as well as the financial instability that you all experience, you also want to look and ensure that there is no fraud to make sure that you rule that out. So I'm also recommending a full fraud review. The small size of the department does not allow for proper segregation of duties. In an organization this size, you would expect there to be some conflicts with segregation of duties because you're just not big enough to split all aspects of accounting. But you just want to ensure that those things that are really direct conflicts, you don't want to have happen, i.e. you don't want someone to have the ability to set up a vendor, receive in the product, and then write a check. So we want to create a segregation of duties matrix to determine the appropriateness of the current job responsibilities and make sure major conflicts don't exist. In the processes, lack of complete and defined policies and procedures. While the accounting department does have policies and procedures that are actually documented, some of them are lacking some detail. So we need to go through and refine those policies and procedures. And also from a best practices standpoint, implement other policies and procedures that are not currently in place. Currently, all your vendors are paid via check, which is a very inefficient process. So you want to make sure you set up as many vendors as possible on ACH for electronic payment. The lack of financial stability, part of the reason that I was tasked to do this assessment was because of the lack of financial stability. One of the recommendations, which Ms. Malden has immediately started, which is immediately assess the current financial situation. Develop a plan to increase financial stability, and allow JTI to conduct a fraud review, i.e. just to rule it out. Also, in reviewing your grants and the grant funding that you receive in, realize that you may not be going after all of the potential grants that are available to you. So my recommendation there is to create a position dedicated to grants administration, and then align this position to work with JTA's grant manager to assist in building up this area for CAT. With the product, your current financial system, Munis, does not produce financial statements. Your financial statements are produced manually in an Excel spreadsheet. At any time you do anything manually, you increase your chance for errors. So you want to determine if this capability is available within the Munis system. If it's not, you want to determine if there is another system that could work in conjunction with Munis to produce financial statements. And then the overall lack of financial transparency. We want to ensure that every member of the CAT staff, all the way up to the board, understand where you are at any point in time when it comes to your financial position. Want to be able to provide regular updates on your financial position so everybody is fully aware. The steps forward, I think you guys should utilize the knowledge of JTI in some key areas, including performing the fraud review, ensuring that audit findings have been properly mitigated, hoping that you guys can avoid having repeat findings. assist the new grants administrator, assist with recommendations to your transit asset management plan, and streamline the financial process, and then continue to provide regular updates on the status of the recommendations, not only included here, but all the recommendations that are included in the bigger report that you guys will get later. And that's it. Does anyone have any questions for me right now?
I do. Hello?
Okay. Go ahead, Commissioner Odell.
Okay. What financial management system do other agencies use? Is Munis not something that's widely used?
No, this is the first time. This was my first experience using the system. Most people utilize Oracle or JD Edwards, a system like or AS400 is another one that people typically utilize.
Or SAP?
Yes.
Okay, so we're using something that is what, antiquated, unheard of, or easily manipulable?
No, the system overall seems fine. It just may be a position of that every capability is not turned on. Because a lot of financial systems will sell things in modules. So it may be a fact that that you guys just don't have certain capabilities turned on in the current system that you're utilizing. From what I viewed, the system is perfectly capable of doing what you need it to do. It's just missing a couple of key things. And there may be easy workarounds, because I do know that getting a new system is quite expensive.
Extremely so.
Yeah, I think Commissioner Odell,
so,
I'm sorry. This is Bakar. I was just going to add, I think we were utilizing the Munis system because that's what the county was utilizing. And so maybe, of course, I wasn't here when it was procured, but it may have been a piggyback deal or something like that.
Do we use it?
That's what I had always been told, that's why we had that system, because that's what the county was using. So
Okay.
now at RTA, the agency I just came from, they use JD Edwards.
So when you looked at the staffing, what's your recommendations on staffing? I understand that they're not cross-trained. That's been an issue. But is everybody's job position adequate? I mean, do they have enough to do all day? Everybody's doing the same thing. What was your observation?
I think there were several opportunities to make them more efficient and possibly consolidate some things into other positions. But I definitely don't want to speak on whether or not to get rid of a position or not. I don't think that was part of the scope. It was just looking at whether or not they were being efficient in what they were doing. I will leave that up.
I understand. I'm not asking that you tell me who you think should leave or who should stay. I'm asking, are the current positions that are staffed, are they accurately defined as a position within that department? Should there be other positions? Should the positions be reevaluated? I'm not talking about the people individually. The way the department is set up.
Yeah, of course. I think there is opportunity to reevaluate the structure and the duties and the responsibilities. I think there are some areas where we can move some responsibilities and duties across the staff to be more efficient.
That's all I have.
And based on that report, Commissioner Odell, we do have some ideas about the way the direction we need to head in terms of the ultimate structure of the finance department. And it is duly noted, we did hear Ms. Dukes reiterate a couple of times that we need to go ahead and move forward with hiring a strong CFO.
So basically, you found that the department is running inefficiently. Is that what you're saying?
The department is running. There were some areas and processes that are inefficient that I think leads to several opportunities for improvement.
Do those inefficiencies explain the $16 million?
No.
Okay.
Although I will add, if I may, to that, while they may not directly explain that, I think it does shed some light on how something like that could come about, because of the flow of the processes. Internally,
It doesn't sound like there was a flow. It sounds like there was a process that was halted, maintained, derived, and presented by one person.
so
Right.
And nobody else in the department knew, or if they knew, they couldn't explain it. If they could explain it, they didn't tell it. So it continued.
right. So luckily we're in a position now where we can break that cycle. We're, putting together a new structure, putting together a plan for cross-training. I think the executive team will tell you, I've talked about cross-training in several other scenarios. And so that's something that is a part of our leadership philosophy. And so we hope that before long, we'll be able to overcome those obstacles.
So the next step is to bring in an auditor?
No, our current audit is ongoing right now with Malden and Jenkins. But really what is being recommended, I'm going to say, falls shy of a forensic audit just because of the cost factor. This was one of the reasons why we requested JTI come in, because they do have the capability of doing a deeper dive than just a standard audit with something called a fraud review that looks for potential indicators. Just to eliminate, we're not, just for public consumption. We're not saying anybody committed fraud. We're just looking at key indicators and just investigating those key indicators to ensure that there is no fraudulent activity going on. And so that's really the next step, just to be able to establish a baseline to say that, everything is on the up and up, everything is good, and that we'll be able to, move forward with a clean bill.
Okay.
But thank you for that input. I mean, it's very important. We pledged that we were going to be open in our communication about our financial situation. And we felt like, having this presentation at all of the committee meetings was a very important part of it. I'm just going to kind of gloss over, well, I guess, first of all, before we move that, Director Lakakis, did you have any questions? Commissioner Odell, did you have any additional questions?
No, I don't.
Thank you.
No.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much, Ms. Dukes, for that presentation. And then we will circle back around to you to arrange a time is for you to give the presentation to Director Edminster, since he missed it. And just for information, we will be sending out a full comprehensive report because there's a lot, it goes a lot deeper than what was just presented. She kind of gave an overview, but the comprehensive report breaks the action items down to what's urgent, what's high priority, what's a lower priority item in terms of how we go about putting the new structure in place, putting the policies and processes in place. And so she prioritizes things based on best practices. So I know that you all will be looking forward to getting that information. So you'll have that by the end of the day today. So with that being said, I'm gonna go down looking at the agenda. I know that there are, that was the only real presentation that we had. There are some other things that were on tap to be discussed. And since this is not, this is not the official committee meeting, I'm not really going to go through those items. I just want to bring your attention to the action items that are slated to be discussed at the governance committee meeting, as well as the full board. I just want to go over those items, and then basically I'll let Director Edminster reconvene the official committee if there was any official committee action that he wants to take. So with that, we have items A and B, which are the standard COVID emergency measures, CEO authority measures that have been on the agenda every month, which basically govern how we operate as an authority in cases of emergency or expenditures that need to be handled during COVID. The next items refer to policies that have been drafted by our Chief Administrative Officer, David Stern, and those will be sent out to you in a packet this afternoon. The Equal Employment Opportunity Policy and the Code of Business Conduct are revisions of existing policies, and for you all to look at it. It has been noted, Commissioner Odell, we know you want the red line version so that you can see what changed, and we will ensure that you have the red line version so that you can see where those policies have changed. There is a compliance program that is on the agenda. That is something brand new, and pursuant to the request from Commissioner Jones, we are going to send that out to everybody for a reading this month, whereas it will be on the agenda for action next month. Since this is something brand new, and this incorporates, and we'll make sure that the, sorry, I got thrown off by an email. The compliance program includes the whistleblower service that was just recently approved last month, and it will incorporate that as well. So you will have that for your reading. And then there's a request to issue the RFP for IT services. And then of course, Ms. Harris Moorhead has produced I guess, revision of the media relations policy. So those are the things that were on the agenda for the for the committee meeting. Do you all have any questions about any of those? Again, I'm going to circle back around with Director Edminster to see how he wants to handle this, since I guess I don't know that this is an official committee meeting or not, but do you all have any questions?
No, I don't have any.
Okay. All right. Director Lakakis, do you have any questions?
No, not at this time.
Okay. Ms. Harris Moorhead, is there anything that you need to cover for the good of the agency in the interim until we can reconvene for an official committee meeting?
No, ma'am. I think you covered it all. I'm good.
All right. Well, with that being said, I'm going to give everyone their afternoon back and wish everyone a safe and healthy day. And we will reconvene soon. Look for a communication from us about a potential rescheduling of this committee meeting.
All right. Thank you. Y'all take care.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.